Nothing is going to satisfy you. Thank God. Nothing in the phenomenal universe, not just the earth, in the universe, is going to satisfy you. Nothing at all. Until you find yourself.
Just, I don't know exactly what I want to speak of. Just feeling the need to come in this way. We haven't spoken for some time. I'm just sometimes I would like to see Guruji. Can you check just this and. Yesterday, so when I came, I was just arrived and we knew that there was this little satsang happening here. And when I came here, I'm really happy. I'm really joyful when I'm coming here, you know. And then after I meet you, sorry, I start to feel like, because yesterday you were saying this thing of the mirror. Also, I feel like you are this mirror, no? For me, that wherever there is some density, wherever there is something holding, it gets felt, you know? Because, yeah.
I mean, the purpose then, in that example, the purpose and the value of the mirror is that if it reflects something inside, then we should be thankful for it.
Yes.
Because exposure is the name of the game. It's the first step. Something gets exposed, and it gets exposed into a sufficiently mature being to say, aha, so that is showing that didn't give me this. It just exposed that.
Yes.
And for a mature, let's use the word, a mature seeker of truth, sees value in that. A mature seeker sees value in, because by yourself you probably wouldn't see. And this is for everybody. By ourselves we probably wouldn't. We are so, you may say, conditioned and to our own states, it become normalized, so you don't see it. But when maybe an external seeming thing exposes it, no? And then I feel this is value. So this is a value for a truth seeker. They say, wow, because whatever those things are that get exposed, they are the things that are hiding yourself, hiding the realization of what is deeper and more true. And but the souls, you may say, in the world are not often made aware that that is of value, and because we are strongly identified with personhood, no? And personhood is a vulnerable state. It makes you feel vulnerable. And for many people, they don't realize that there's something beyond personhood. They don't, Even to speak of personhood like this, they would not be used to. What are you talking about, personhood, you see? But because this Sangha has been exposed to these kind of looking, they understand when you say personhood what it means. That personhood is not a finality. It's not an ultimate truth in personhood. It's the person is relative and the person's world is very relative. And so, and you've come to know that if everything is relative, is it really absolutely everything is relative? No, because if everything was relative, you wouldn't know it's relative. So there must be a still place that is not relative, that you can, from this place of completeness, evaluate the things which are unstable. Now, we are not, the purpose of that is not to shoot down the things that are unstable, because that's the dynamic expression of the real, no? It's a dynamic. So what is the purpose of it? I'd say that if everything is dynamic, your thoughts, our feelings, our passions, even the identity, by that dynamic I mean it's not stable, no? It's always moving. Then what can be relied upon? You see? say, well, what can we rely upon? Because anything you name is going to be something that's not stable. It's not. So when I say it's not stable, I mean it's not true. It's not reliable. It may be relatable, but it's not reliable. It's not constant. It's a variable. And that you can check for a moment and say, well, is there anything known that is stable, that is dependable, that is reliable, that is a fact? And if you are true, you'll know that actually there's no such thing. And even the one evaluating it, which normally stands from the place of personhood, itself is not stable. So if that is verified, that not even the one who normally evaluates things relative to itself is found that also is unstable, how do we know that which is called yourself normally is unstable? How we know?
For me, this difficulty I've felt to come and present something to you, because always after I felt, yeah, it didn't call me because that wasn't so important, because it always belongs some to the relative.
Oh no, but it's still good to say it.
Yeah.
But let me just finish off this part then. So if the assumed one who evaluates the life, these people are good, they are not good, this is right, this is not right, this is the truth, this is not the truth, itself cannot be relied upon, because its own values change unto itself. Even what it calls itself change. So, but if that one is also perceivable, it must be by something more pure than it, no? In a way, it's a kind of, it's a common sense, but it's not one we make use of because nobody questions their person, the sense of personal self. So you come to a point of realizing, wait a second, so if the person, which is what we attribute to be who we are, you know, what kind of person are you? Tell me some facts about you. People say, yeah, I was born on this date, I've got an American passport, you know, I'm, you know, Christian, I'm Muslim, blah, blah, blah. And these qualities are accepted to be factual and factual to yourself, which is a unchallenged fact, that this person is this person, and they have proven that they are this person. And in this world, it is kind of like, it's sufficient. Even computers will verify, yes, this one is the true one. But I'm saying, is there something, a deeper, a more authentic truth than this? And of course I said, but how do we know? Because the fact is that even the person with its values and so on is also perceivable. You see? So if it is perceivable, by what is it perceivable? Where is the location of that which perceives even the person to be false? Let me say, wait a second, whoa. In what direction to look? Where is this seer placed? And I say, listen, this is not a philosophical discussion. Must be a search as strong as someone who is locked in a room and is told that there's a key in the room, and then some gas is switched on in the room, and they have to get out that room before somebody comes in with a cigarette, okay? It has to be, for some people, it's going to be that urgent, like, you know, whoa, just the hearing that the person I've considered myself to be for so long is obviously false, and not just because someone else says it, albeit that maybe there's someone who says it, there's faith in and trust in the words of this one, but that they have proven through a kind of guidance to bring it to you for your own evaluation, to see that you have the power to verify more than somebody verify for you, and bring you into that reality that somehow, whoa, then my person who have for so long, I have a signature for my person, I've got evidence of the date of this person, the date of birth of this person, marriage certificate, your religious background, everything, all the things that constitute a solid reality of an assumed person is based upon the falsehood. an unreliable falsehood. Even unto itself, before you call in anybody else to evaluate, even unto itself, if it is sufficiently open enough to say, wait a second, this one, because you yourself keep changing. Your idea about yourself keep changing. And something has watched over the years, that the face in the mirror keeps changing, the identity, what I call myself, keep changing. What is aware of these changes? So I said, where's the location of that which is aware of even the change of the assumed fact that I'm this person, is seeing that that also is phenomenal and it's just an idea. And then, as well as that, that there's an urge or a yearning to find the truth of it.
If I see it, when I see it, it seems there is an understanding of from where to look and how to look and how to disregard the things the mind presents.
The kind of the kind of offering I'm asking, huh, is even to look, even the activity or the function of looking is perceived. Yes or no? Yes. Capacity to see even this. But what happens if you're not challenged by that and say, even that is perceived? So that means that that thing is a function. You're talking about a function and a potential, but it's not the thing. It's a potential to see the thing. And say, yeah, but so we'll not accept this answer, nothing final, because I'm looking at a kind of final discovery, not just a final answer. Mm-hmm. That seeing just rests. It's not a seeing, it's not a phenomenal seeing, it's not one thing seeing another thing. So at a certain point, you have used up the value of language. It's not going to come across with the highest philosophy or the highest description, because at one point you have to see any language, any word, cannot convey this. And what is this? You see? So what is this? It's not going to be the answer you give. So if there's an answer or discovery, it's not going to come merely through the voice or through thought. Any of these, nothing there is stable. You're looking for that which is stable. Is there anything that you perceive that can be stable, that you can say is stable? You can take some time to look. It's worth taking time to look, because for lifetimes we have not solved it. We are still looking in the field of the changeful for final answers. So take a little time and look. Inquire if there's anything that you can say produced through the senses or the mind that is reliable to you. Even not in an ultimate search, just is reliable, dependable. So I found it this week, and next week it's still the same value it has for me. No, even if you found a diamond which doesn't change in itself, and you found I found the most precious diamond in the world, it's not a compliment to the diamond. Okay? If you found the greatest diamond in the world and you're thrilled to bits, I will tell you, you cannot keep that excitement. Isn't it? After some time, it's going to be, I've got this, I forgot to show you, I got this amazing diamond here. Nothing is going to satisfy you. Thank God. Nothing in the phenomenal universe, not just the earth, in the universe, is going to satisfy you. Nothing at all. Until you find yourself. And that will not be left as a finder and the thing found. And whatever is going to be found, if it's the truth, in the finding of it, the discoverer will vanish. That sounds like a bit of a koan. I'm sorry, it might sound like, because some people might say, then I don't want to vanish. Why? Because it's more important for me to be the discoverer of something than the thing discovered. I said one time, we want to taste the honey, you don't want to be the honey. And I say, but this is tasting the honey and being the honey at the same time. What will you lose? So this type of introspection is not so valuable in the world. It's not so valuable. Even I don't know if it's got any value.
Doing the introspection, right? It has been maybe sufficiently understood that everything that appears, that is visible in terms of
Everything that is visible,
phenomenal, mental, outside there, emotional, ideas, concept, it's in front, seen by something, I don't know, I leave it into...
who don't know? Even the one who says, I don't know, is perceived. No, don't miss it. Even the one who says, yeah, but because that is our acquired identity. Yeah. He's saying, but even the one who sees it, I don't know. But there is knowing that there's something perceived this.
This functioning that is continuously tending to produce a shape for what I am.
You see, even as subtle as that may sound, you're still in the phenomenal.
Yeah. Somehow it's seen, but it feels also still as this pull.
Okay, we can slow down now. We can slow down now. Because right at this point, you can keep journeying unending, or you can come to that which we are called to seek. You're called to seek something, but the one who is seeking it cannot find it. Because the belief in the one searching for it is only an instrument for useful for a time. It must itself dissolve in the discovery somehow. I don't know if that sounds a bit too awkward, but all of you should really be able to follow me actually at this point. I'm not interested in mere metaphysical discussion. I mean, it is actually, I'm presenting it as being very practical. No? There is something that is so, it cannot be found in the realm of the mind. All our interactions, all our discoveries, all our experiences have been happening in the dynamic field. And happening for a kind of dynamic self. Can you see? Yes. What enables you to see that? What is the cause of seeing even that? If that was all, if you have exhausted your capacity by saying that, then you can go no further. But he said that also is seen. By what is all of this seen? Even if an angel came in the most subtle form, it is perceived because of that. What is that? And is that an acquisition? Is that something acquired? He said, I said, is that acquired? No, he said, no, it's not acquired. Everything else was acquired and lost. Thankfully, actually. And that which you say that you're searching for, we have to look. How true is that? How true is the voice that says, I'm searching for that? Or the apparent seeker of truth says, I'm searching for that. Can it find that? You see, there was a time I would not myself be ready for that conversation because it started to sound a bit abstract. Why? Because there was so much belief in the reality of my person that to go beyond the person is of no value for me. I have no interest. Also, even before it becomes terrifying for the me, there was something cut off. I said, nah, I go and have an ice cream. I'll see you guys later. But something has continued to mature or develop to such a point that the seeking intelligence is not running away from it. And even if it says that seeker is going to dissolve in it, it feels happy for it. Because even the seeker is trouble, is useful up to a point. But the reality cannot be seeking anything. So I don't know how this is being heard in each one, you see. So what is he speaking, some mystery or something? I said, actually, it's more simple than mystery. It's mystery as long as you're a person, it's a mystery. And maybe we want to find it from the standpoint of a person. You want to find it as, you know, I'm Jennifer, yeah, and I found the absolute. And yet, there's nothing wrong with being Jennifer after, even during. You can still be there, but you're going to have to go beyond that which is called Jennifer to see that that also is phenomenal. And if you have the capacity to verify that your highest belief and feelings are transient, and having discovered that, you're not plunged into depression, but rather lifted up into some space unexpected in you. Have you come to that yet? Have anybody come to that? That, you know, it's not fear is holding you back like, whoa. And I pointed out that what will stop the so-called seeker is that, and please check with it now, is that perhaps we are protecting personal identity because there's some secret desire to experience something which you need your person to taste experiencing. So because you're holding on, maybe you're not conscious of it. And maybe this is why the journey keep going longer and longer, because the so-called seeker is really not ready to find the thing it says, I'm really looking for this. Is it of value what we are sharing now? You're seeing?
Just to say, I have to be honest, looking, I can see like this investment in something that
There's an investment in something.
prevent me to...
No, let's be really attentive. There's an investment in something. I'm not attacking that. I'm just inviting you to go beyond that. Not by killing it, but just by detachment. This is the power of detachment. We don't have to get rid of your enemies because they're not really your enemies. They're only enemies to your ego, but not to your being. So we only have to be willing to see clearly enough to take that gamble that maybe not everything is false, but the premise on which you evaluate it to be true is false. And maybe now you have already maybe sieved out, 80% of the human, 90% of the human kingdom is already gone. They're not going to be able to follow this. And 10% is quite high, actually.
The 10% also has to go now.
Well, yes, be in the 10% first, and let's see how much we can get rid of it. If would you be able to follow this if your parents don't want it, your children don't want it, your partner doesn't want it, your dog doesn't want it, your country doesn't want it, your faith doesn't want it? Would you still want to go? Do you still have the power to go? You're the only one left in the world. You still want it? So these things are important for me.